Welcome to my little party in your honor.
You okay?
Nah, man. I'm pretty fucking far from okay.
Is snakes out there this big?
Hey! Y'all trying to study me?
Stop fucking with Korean Jesus. He ain't got time for your problems.
Gangbanging never die.
He busy with Korean
Too much
shit.
love.
What country you from?
You always gonna get niggas
What
like
ain't no country I ever heard of? They speak English and what?
Damn. How many more motherfucking penitentiaries y'all gonna build?
English, motherfucker, do you speak it?
How many jars you gonna try to put us in? You know what I'm saying?
Say what again? Say what again?
What's going on, everybody? What the fuck is going on? I don't know. Hey, this is the Ghetto Woke Podcast. And I'm here today just trying to figure out what the fuck. I mean, the world acting like it's going crazy. Nigga, light-skinned niggas is under attack. But then they got Kodak Black. Man, that's fucked up. What's up with these niggas out here today taking pussy? That's like the ultimate bitch nigga thing to do. And it's always been that way. I don't know why there's so many niggas out here getting caught for sexual assault, rape, all this type of shit. I'm sitting here wondering what the fuck. I mean, damn. Nelly, they done got Nelly. This is like, Nelly has been like the most wholesome nigga for the longest. They got this nigga off in Des Moines, Washington. I'm like, Des Moines, Washington? I ain't never even heard of Des Moines, Washington. And then shit, nigga, it's Des Moines, Washington, so you know it was a white girl. Say the nigga sexually assaulted her on his tour bus. I don't know what the fuck's going on with these niggas. But they let that nigga out of jail immediately and they didn't file no charges, so I don't know about that. We're just gonna have to wait and see what's going on in that situation. But apparently with Kodak Black situation, shit, they didn't indicted this nigga on sexual assault charges. So ain't no telling where they gonna go with that. They said they're trying to get a nigga 30. So, cause I be on Twitter and I hear a lot of people all the time talking about like rape culture. Like the United States is a rape culture. We live in a society where we condone rape and all that. And I'm like, what? We don't fucking condone no goddamn rape. I don't know no niggas that sit around and be like, oh yeah, man, you raped her? Oh yeah, good job, high five. Hell nah. If you hear about a nigga that's a rapist, nigga, that's just like being a child molester. We don't fuck with niggas like that, especially in the black community. Like, I done heard all kind of motherfuckers doing this and doing that on some slick, sly type shit. But it ain't public knowledge. Because if niggas find out you a motherfucking rapist, or you done took some pussy, any type of shit like that, man, that's just like finding out you was touching on a little kid or something. Motherfuckers gonna totally, like, probably fuck you up. I mean, a nigga ain't just finna fuck up nobody you don't really know or fuck with. But if you know the victim, like if you the brother or the daddy or the uncle or anything like that, I done seen niggas get fucked up off shit like that. So when they say the United States is under a rape culture, I'm like, hell nah. Rape culture is a culture that basically allows the shit to happen and condones the shit. Where in the United States, I mean, you can say that if your money is up there to a certain level, or if your color, any of that type of shit, it does matter in the United States. I mean, look at that motherfucker Brock Turner at Stanford. He took some pussy while the bitch was asleep. That's rape, my nigga. I don't give a fuck. No way, no shape. You could be like, she was into it and then she passed out. Well, nigga, it's over with. You supposed to leave her and get the fuck on. Or nigga, go to sleep, jack off, do something. But don't fuck the bitch when she go to sleep. That's just totally fucked up. And they gave that nigga 6 months. Because they said they didn't want to fuck up that nigga's future. So I guess they probably gonna take the felony off that nigga's record some type of way. When the nigga get out, I don't even know if the nigga out or whatever. So in a lot of instances, if your money is right, or look at niggas like Kobe, like he got accused of taking some pussy, which later we found out it was some bullshit, but during the accusation period, usually a motherfucker gets shunned, they won't fuck with you, it's all negative press, but Kobe was smart with his shit. That nigga fucking start playing his ass off. And nigga was going off in the playoffs, shooting 30 and 40, putting up points, 3-pointers, dunking, doing all kind of highlight shit. He made everybody forget about the fact that he was going through a court process at the whole time. I mean, it's coming to a point where niggas, Nelly, you too old to be getting caught in a fucking trick bag with a young bitch. I mean, that's just totally off the rails. My nigga, it's just a situation where you should be at an age where you should be able to work your game to a point where nothing like this happens, period. And then the number one thing I'm wondering is with situations like Kobe, Mike Tyson, even this Nelly situation, Kodak Black, is y'all paying these bitches? Because I'm starting to think the main problem is y'all niggas think y'all can just fuck these hoes to y'all celebrities and these bitches is supposed to be with it. And I'm telling you, my nigga, that is not the fucking case at all. Not the case at all. I mean, you gotta at least drop $200-$300 on the dresser before you smash out, because it ain't no telling what's gonna be on her mind. And straight up, I'll leave a receipt. Like, here, sign this. Straight up, just in case anything ever happened. I want you to sign this motherfucking receipt. Because I'd rather go to jail for soliciting prostitution than rape any motherfucking day. And that's just 100. But on some real shit, if these niggas is really out here taking pussy, man, I hope you niggas get whatever y'all got coming with the law, because to me, that should be an offense a lot more stricter than it is in the United States. Laws like child molesting, rape, shit like that that's going to affect the victim long after. Oh yeah, I think that's worse than murder, because at one point, murder, the motherfucker dead. Now, you're taking something totally from that person's family, and I feel like if you're a murderer, the government should find a way for you to have to pay for the rest of your life, not in no penitentiary sitting in no motherfucking cell. I'm talking about working, making, producing something that's going to benefit the family of the life you took. Now, I feel the same way about a rapist. Like, if you rape a female and you get found guilty, oh man, my nigga, I feel like for the rest of your life, it should be some type of situation where you gotta pay that victim. And it ain't necessarily, I mean, in money. You could be sentenced to have to work at a shelter or pick up trash every weekend or something for the rest of your motherfucking life. That's just how I feel about a rapist. Because I feel those are the people that should be getting the 20s and the 30 years, not no 6 months, and not no 5 years, which is usually about 18 months in jail, and then they get out and then go back to their regular life. I mean, yeah, it's some restrictions, like some people got to report, and some, but man, I'm telling you, people is working a way around all of that shit. It's loopholes to all of that shit. And that's the main problem. We need to start finding these loopholes in the system and correcting the motherfuckers. Instead, you got people arguing on the left and on the right, trying to determine what is the proper way to move in these situations, but really both sides just got their little arguments and they just trying to keep their side winning. That's all it's about now. It's about winning. All they want to do is sit there and have an argument where they insult the other side to where the public feels like they won. But really, that's not no debate, because at the end of the day, a debate gonna have an issue fixed when you get done debating. Not just insulting the motherfucker, having the people laugh, and then that's it. I mean, that's what we did at the bus stop in middle school. Was just sit there and throw insults at each other and let everybody else laugh and do all that type of shit. But that shit don't play no role in politics. Because in politics, you got issues that need to be fixed. And these niggas ain't fixing no issues. They just arguing back and forth. And then you got motherfucking people like, everybody want to talk about Donald Trump. But what niggas don't understand, to me, I'm looking at Donald Trump like, yeah, he a jackass, but when have he ever not been a jackass? When have he ever not been who he was? Like, this always drove me crazy. People think as soon as you get a different job or a different title, or you immediately put in a different situation, you immediately change from who you are. Donald Trump always been the same person. I don't even think that motherfucker's racist. I just think he's a douchey billionaire. I mean, he fits the role of a douchey billionaire all the way down to the T. Just look at him. Motherfucker rich, cocky, talk a lot of shit. I mean, he'll lie and won't deny it. I mean, it's just, that's what it is. I mean, it's been plenty of motherfuckers like that around the world. And I grew up in the hood. I mean, there's plenty of niggas like that sit there. We call them front ass niggas. It's niggas that front. And I don't even really look at Donald Trump as a nigga that be fronting, because that nigga, he about what he talking about. That motherfucker ran for president and won on that ass. And I feel like everybody just hating off of that shit. Like, why y'all hating this nigga? He was already late 60s, 70 years old. What did y'all think the nigga was gonna do? Just die? I mean, the nigga had a choice. I could sit here and be bored, be a billionaire. I can be a grandpa. I can do all that shit, which that ain't never how I been anyway. Or I can run for motherfucking president, because these motherfuckers say I can't. And then that's what the nigga did. He won. And then now everybody got their fucking panties in a twist, wondering, why is he acting the way he act? I mean, what is he acting like? I mean, the nigga tripping with North Korea, my nigga. North Korea is small as fuck. They got like the number 23 military in the world. Come on, my nigga. We got number 1. They not fucking with us. North Korea is not a threat. South Korea got twice as many people as North Korea, because North Korea got 25 million people. Nigga, South Korea got 50 million people. So why is we sitting here worried about, yeah, South Korea is our friend. Them niggas make all the electronics and all of the cell phones and all that shit. And they got twice as many people as North Korea. So I'm wondering, why the fuck is we worried about North Korea when we got an ally right next door to these motherfuckers that got twice as many people? See, this was starting to make me think that this shit is fake news. Because we sit here and talk about North Korea, Russia, like they a fucking threat. These niggas ain't no fucking threat. Ain't nobody fucking with the United States of America. And that's just point blank, period. Can't nobody fuck with us in a war? How long would it last? How long do you think another country can literally go to war with us? Lacking, what about resources? How is they gonna feed their soldiers in a war? How is they gonna even last a year at war with the United States? And then what is y'all gonna do after y'all lose? Y'all think we ain't just gonna take this motherfucker over? Russia and North Korea. Anybody that got a problem. I mean, look at Iraq. Look at Afghanistan. And we didn't took that shit over. There's just a lot of people sit here and get scared of some bullshit. Like, nigga, what the fuck is we scared of these motherfuckers for? I'm more scared of getting fired from my job than I am from North Korea or Russia. First of all, how the fuck they gonna make it over here? Yeah, everybody talk about they got nukes. Nigga, we got nukes too. And we got more than they do. So if they want to go to war, let's go to fucking war. It's just we get to take over their shit when we win. Period. That should be the number one engagement right there. After we win, we taking over North Korea and we get to liberate their people. And then same thing with Russia. Them motherfuckers is communists, dictators, whatever the fuck. If they really want to fucking go to war, we can go to war. But after it's all over and we win, we get to take over Russia and North Korea. How about that? See, I don't think that's something they willing to risk. Because, yeah, they can knock a couple dents in our shit, but we gonna eradicate their entire country. And I don't mean like kill all the people when I say eradicate. I mean eradicate their entire government and what they doing. If we go to war with them motherfuckers, you know we gonna take over and then they gonna have voting and all that shit in Russia and North Korea. They finally gonna be able to get internet. Cause right now I heard they internet fucked up. So really, I'm sitting here wondering, like, why is this such a big threat everybody's scared of and all this type of shit? But at the end of the day, it's just like, I think they just blowing smoke up our ass. Then you got this nigga Christopher Williams, another light-skinned nigga. The light-skinned nigga off New Jack City that got punked by Nino. Got stabbed in the motherfucking hand. Then Nino snitched on the nigga at the end of the movie. Spoiler alert if you ain't seen New Jack City. But I don't know who the fuck ain't seen New Jack City. But yeah, this nigga, they caught this nigga gonna walk off in a fucking Kohl's in Georgia and then take $100 pair of headphones out that motherfucker. And the security caught him. And they arrested that nigga for a misdemeanor. I don't know what the fuck's going on in the world. The nigga out of New Jack City out here stealing? Niggas out here committing petty crimes too, boosting. That's crazy. I wonder if that nigga smoking. Shit, might be. You know how these old niggas is. A lot of these old black people is suspect because they grew up in the crack era. Oh yeah, you gotta watch them. Remember how many young niggas on New Jack City was smoking crack? Shit, G Money was getting high. Chris Rock was getting fucked up. And them was young niggas back then. So imagine all of them niggas that's living right now. They all like 40, 50. Yeah, see, all them niggas is suspect to me. I ain't saying they is, but I'm saying watch they ass. Because niggas will end up, you know, breaking your heart like motherfucking DMX did to me. I grew up to DMX. And then you got niggas like, to me, Swiss Beats is a hoe ass nigga. And let me tell you why. Because you out here promoting this nigga, but you not telling this nigga that his jaw moving and he still look like a motherfucking smoker. This nigga is breaking motherfuckers' hearts when we see this nigga like this. So if you was the nigga's homeboy for real, you wouldn't be in the studio making songs with the nigga trying to make some money. You'll have that nigga in somebody's rehab in somebody's gym and go and living clean somewhere. Point blank period, my nigga. This nigga running around still looking like a fucking crackhead And we supposed to forget all of this shit because of the shit the nigga did back in the day? I mean, flesh or flesh. I mean, what is that shit called? Flesh of my flesh, blood of my blood. That motherfucking CD, nigga, you don't know how many times a nigga used to bang that shit. And then we gotta think of DMX from motherfucking Aaliyah movies and, you know, even movies he done did his own, Belly, all of that type of shit. DMX was like a hero to niggas out here. And we gotta sit here and watch this nigga looking like a fucking crackhead all the time. I mean, everything this nigga's on, this nigga sitting here looking like a goddamn smoker, and niggas is supposed to act like this shit ain't happening because this motherfucker used to be a star back in the day. I'm like, nah, fuck that shit. That shit is a motherfucking embarrassment. Anybody that give a fuck about DMX, y'all niggas would take that nigga and get him away from the motherfucking spotlight for a second. This is what they do to our legends. They sit here and put these niggas on Front Street and show the youth that them niggas ain't shit. You don't think we recognize what a fucking crackhead look like? I mean, come on, my nigga. We all from the motherfucking hood. I mean, the niggas that is from the hood, nigga, you done seen a crackhead, nigga. You see a crackhead every motherfucking day going to the bus stop. Every time you go to the store, you know what a crackhead look like. So when you put a nigga on Breakfast Club or Drink Champs or any of these type of platforms where you really letting the youth get to see these niggas and y'all sitting here calling the niggas legends, but nigga, we looking at these niggas like, nigga, that's a fucking smoker. Like 100%. And that's a big problem that niggas do not speak on in the black community. It is a big disconnect between the young niggas and the old niggas for that reason right there. For the crack era. See, a lot of these old niggas, let's bring up niggas like Jay-Z and all these niggas. These niggas bring up this shit like the crack era was a great era and all of that shit. But y'all don't understand, nigga, we the crack babies. And the crack babies. And nigga, we looking at y'all niggas like y'all niggas was suckers. Y'all niggas totally gave up on the hood. Y'all gave up on everybody. And moved to the suburbs. And left the hood like it is now. So we looking at you niggas like y'all niggas is demanding respect from the black community. But nigga, the black community don't give a fuck about y'all niggas. Cause y'all niggas never gave a fuck about us. All you niggas that sell crack and bring toys and turkeys on Thanksgiving, y'all niggas ain't doing shit. How about you niggas start bringing jobs to the motherfucking hood? Start bringing opportunity, education. Open up a Votech, nigga. Open up a temp service. Do something that's gonna actually show that you give a fuck about putting that money that you took from the hood, from selling drugs, bring all that money back to the hood. But niggas ain't trying to hear me. But y'all niggas still want to be respected. Y'all niggas still want niggas to bow down to you niggas. Man, fuck all you old niggas. Period. And that go to the old celebrity niggas. That go to the old niggas that I grew up around. Fuck all you niggas. 100%. Because y'all niggas left a nigga in a position where all a nigga know how to do is sell crack or sell weed or sell drugs or shoot guns or do all that shit. A nigga know how to maneuver around the city and do all kind of bullshit that a nigga didn't learn from the last generation. But now I'm sitting here in the real world like, nigga, this shit don't mean shit. Don't none of this gangster shit, don't none of this drug shit, gun shit, don't none of this shit mean nothing in 2017. Period. Living in the hood and all that shit, it's all over with. It's bullshit. So basically, the youth was taught a whole set of skills that don't even mean nothing in the generation that the youth is living in. This is a generation with motherfucking computers and motherfucking cell phones and all kind of shit. And Man, ask any young nigga in the hood. Most of these young niggas don't know how to maneuver around that shit. And if they do, they know how to get on Facebook. They know how to get on Instagram or social media. But do they know how to Google shit? Do they know how to educate themselves? Most of them don't. And I'm just telling you out here, a lot of these young niggas is out here lost because I feel like the generation before, even my generation, then totally, my generation, I'm 32. We just out here trying to live. We trying to survive with the skills we didn't learn from this new shit that it went down. Because I grew up in the era where we had Atari and Nintendo, and by the time I got to middle school, we had PlayStation. And niggas had computers and laptops and all that type of shit. But even I feel like I'm late on all this shit. So, I got a real big problem with the old niggas. I mean, all of the motherfuckers that call themselves black leaders. Because, I mean, at the end of the day, black people are suffering in the United States. And I really feel education is the reason. And a lot of people would be like, slavery was a long time ago and that shit should be over. But when people say should, they let you know it's some bullshit involved in it. Or it's symptoms of bullshit. Put it like that. But, I mean, like black leaders, you think like in my generation, see, I didn't grow up with Obama being the first black leader. We had niggas like Al Sharpton, Jesse Jackson, niggas like that sitting here bitching and complaining about the shit the white man doing and all that. And I fed into a lot of that bullshit growing up because that's just like basic information. And if you don't ever go deeper into basic information, this is just gonna stay bullshit ass basic information. But we grew up with niggas like Jesse Jackson, Al Sharpton, niggas marching, talking about this, talking about that. But we always seen the police fucking niggas up. I mean, I'm from Oklahoma. A nigga might sit here and think like, oh, Oklahoma, and you might think whatever you want to think, but nigga, I stay in a city. We stay in the city. We don't stay in the motherfucking country. A nigga stay in a neighborhood. I've been staying in a neighborhood. Yeah, we got, this is a major city. Like, niggas don't understand I-35 and I-40. They cross in Oklahoma City. So this is basically the center of the United States when it comes to shit that's moving. Especially with I-40. I mean, that's just going across the United States, east to west. And then I-35 goes from fucking Mexico to Minnesota. So, I mean, nigga, look at that. But in Oklahoma, even we got black neighborhoods, we got black side of town, we got all of that shit. And even on every side of town, you know, you got places where a lot of black people stay. So we see the police all the fucking time. But even then, in my opinion, police brutality is not one of the major problems in the black community. Education is. Because you got to understand, black people as a whole, our literacy rate is fucked up. Niggas don't know how many words I got to sit there and look up in the dictionary when I'm watching TV or a YouTube video. And I ain't ashamed to say that shit. I look up at least 5-6 words a day. Just because I might hear a nigga say a word that I don't know, and then I look that shit up like, okay, that's what that is. But the fact that I do this shit every day, I know that it's basically comes from the fact that a nigga wasn't taught that shit growing up. A nigga wasn't taught all these scientific words and critical thinking and all this type of shit. Shit. To be honest, growing up in the black community, it's like you taking orders your whole life until you grown. That's just basically what it is. It ain't no original thinking. It ain't no critical thinking. You taking orders. I grew up with a strict black mama, and from day one, you taking orders. It ain't no room for you to think. So when you get out in the world, a lot of niggas be lost, nigga. I was lost. Because I've been taking orders my whole life. So when I was 18 and I got my apartment, it was like, shit. Now, I'm just doing basically what I'm still doing what I'm told because I'm following the advice of all of the people that's around me. So yeah, I had a job, got a car, got me an apartment, did all that shit. But it wasn't no, now what do I do after that? It was just, I was left to my own thinking as a young nigga. And I feel like if I can get any young niggas to not do that, and to learn how to think critically and think about what you want and what direction you want to go in life, stop listening to what these old niggas is telling you all the time. Because a lot of these old niggas don't know. Look at these niggas' lives and see what the fuck they doing. And then you decide what you want to do with your life. I mean, I understand it's a lot of advice they'll give you that's good advice. And yeah, take that shit and soak it in. But a lot of the advice that these old niggas be giving, they coming from a position of a loser. And that's 100%. You got to understand that. Because a lot of these niggas that spent their whole life, you know, putting money into the church. What had the church done for the black community? Black people spend like 10, 12 million a week or something like that on church. And what is the church doing for the community? Look at what these black communities look like. You can look in the parking lot. Look at some of the cars, some of the people driving. You got people driving fucked up cars, but they going to a church that's worth millions of dollars. You got to look at that type of shit. A lot of these black leaders don't give a fuck about black people. They used us to get out of the hood, and now they're out of the hood. They're not worried about the hood anymore. Al Sharpton don't give a fuck about the hood. He just sitting here watching TV, waiting for the white man to do something to a nigga so he can go out here and get some camera attention. So he can say he's an activist. He's out here doing his part. Yeah, he can say that shit all day long. But how is that really helping black people? It is not. All it is drawing attention and giving us a voice. Okay, but the biggest problem with all of these black leaders is once they get a voice, they stop talking. Like, what the fuck is wrong with you niggas? I hear niggas like, Obama. We got Obama in office. I voted for that nigga. That was the first time I ever fucking voted. And I voted for Obama. Got the nigga in. This nigga ain't did shit. And I don't even mean like doing shit for exclusively black people. I mean do some shit that's going to also benefit black people. Pass some laws, do some shit, do this, do that. I don't know, my nigga. You went to college. I didn't. But I'm just saying, we put our faith in black leaders over and over and over again. What are these black leaders doing? When we see them, what are they doing? They living good, but they politicians. So when I look at a politician, I'm looking at this nigga like, okay, did you do this shit so you can live this lifestyle of a politician? Or did you do this shit because you really give a fuck about black people? That's what I want to know. And then we got people that just, I feel like Barack Obama, this nigga, he come out and like, people like, oh yeah, he's a black man. But then I look at the nigga like, is he a black man? Where this nigga from? Oh, this nigga from Hawaii? And then they be like, oh yeah, but he grew up around all kind of, in a whoopty-whoop poor environment and all that. And I'm like, nigga, poor in Hawaii? I understand they got ghettos in Hawaii, but nigga, you still live in the ghetto in Hawaii. Nigga, I grew up in the ghetto in Oklahoma. A nigga can't tell me that a ghetto in Hawaii is worse than a ghetto in Oklahoma. Nigga, you still in Hawaii. You still on a fucking island. So how bad is the ghetto? And did that nigga even come from the ghetto in Hawaii? Because really the ghetto shit don't matter. It's just, did you grow up in an area where you was around everyday working people? Or did you grow up in an area where you was around like upper middle class, rich, you know what I'm saying, people that really don't connect with the everyday people? That's what I'm saying. And they presented him like he was the man of the people. And then at the end of the day, the nigga let a couple niggas out of jail and we supposed to be like, oh yeah, he real, keep it real. Man, fuck all that shit. I understand them niggas that was in jail wasn't never even supposed to be in jail for that long anyway. So letting them niggas out ain't really doing nothing. You just basically correcting what was already supposed to go down. And nigga, you had spent 8 years in the motherfucker. Them niggas could have been out. And even more than you let out. But I ain't even worried about them because even in America, see, they talk about the niggas that's locked up. I noticed that a lot of black leaders is using that lately. They using, the prison industry and all of this, yada, yada, yada. But see, y'all don't talk about the people that get out of prison and the recidivism. Because a lot of niggas is getting out with no skills, no education, no trade, none of that. And they basically out here to the wolves. And you'll be like, oh, they're criminals. They put themselves in that position. But did they put themselves in that position? Or did their parents put them in that position? Or did their grandparents put their parents in that position? See, y'all got to realize that shit. That a lot of this shit is not just one generation. It's generation after generation after generation of uneducated, poor, unskilled people raising children. And yeah, some of them make it out the hood, but a lot of them don't. So the fact that a lot of them don't, and just, we sit here and just be like, well, okay, some of them do. He in the NBA, he rich. He in the NFL, he rich. He's an entertainer. He sells millions of records. He's rich. Yeah, but what about the 10 niggas that didn't make it to the one that did? Niggas is acting like they don't give a fuck. And I don't want nothing from white people. I don't want to ask white people for shit. Period. It ain't nothing I want from a white man. I want to earn everything I get. And I always been like that. I was taught like that by my mom. I mean, that's what it was. You earn shit. You don't deserve. We're not entitled to nothing. Ain't nobody in this world entitled to nothing. You get what you earn. But I do look at a lot of black people because this is my community that I love. That's all I fuck with. I mean, I got white friends that I work with, but on a majority level, all I'm around is niggas. That's just what it is. And I love niggas. I love nigga shit. I like ghetto niggas. I like sedity niggas. I like all kind of niggas, man. Black people as a whole, I love you motherfuckers. But we got to do better. We got to start picking better leaders. And we got to start questioning. I just feel like motherfuckers don't want to question nothing nowadays. We just want to leave everything like it is and stay comfortable. And let's not talk about this, or this is not a right time. Well, when is the time? Shit is fucked up out here. I mean, I look at the youth. I look at motherfuckers that's my age. This niggas out here doing cocaine again. Like, what the fuck? Like, niggas ain't never condoned niggas using cocaine. That was always like a rich man's drug. Like, oh, you fucking with that shit, all right. Because you see the movies. You see Scarface. You see Blow. Them niggas always start off with a little bitty toot at the beginning. And by the end of that motherfucker, they dipping their whole head in the motherfucking suitcase. Or dumping all that shit on the table and snorting a whole big ass pile. I mean, we see that shit. So, when I see young motherfuckers fucking with that shit, it's like, damn, this fucked up. Then you already got niggas like Future and other motherfuckers talking about Molly's and Percocets and doing all these motherfucking drugs. Who the fuck you think doing these drugs? It's the youth. Nigga, you destroying our fucking future. And I ain't saying you doing the shit single-handedly, but a lot of these rappers and all this shit is doing that shit. And I don't know if they don't know they doing it. I don't know if they don't give a fuck that they doing the shit. But a lot of these niggas is doing that shit. And it's basically coming down to a point where you got niggas that sit here and rap about doing drugs, but then when you watch them in a fucking interview, they like, I don't even do drugs. I don't smoke weed. I don't do drugs. I don't do none of that shit. And you be like, what? So you getting paid for uplifting that type of music where you fucking selling drugs and shit, but you don't even do the shit yourself? What kind of message is that sending? So you basically sending these young niggas out here to get fucked up and party, but when you party and kicking and all that shit, you don't even do none of these drugs that you rapping about? Man, these niggas better get the fuck out of here with that shit. I'm just saying, eventually real recognize real. That's why you see a big disconnect with the young niggas and the old niggas. And we definitely need better leaders, man. Cause I mean, I grew up in the era where we had to look at whatever niggas we got. So at one point, Al Sharpton, Jesse Jackson, them was the only niggas we had. Then, you know, when I got a little bit older, we got Colin Powell and Condoleezza Rice. And I used to hear a lot of bad shit about these niggas, you know what I'm saying, from, you know, people in the hood, older people around, you know, niggas gonna use this same old Uncle Tom Coon shit, which, nigga, this shit get on my nerves on that Uncle Tom shit. In the book, Uncle Tom's Cabin, Uncle Tom is the protagonist, which means he's the good guy. So in the same context, you look at Django and you look at Samuel Jackson on Django. Samuel Jackson was the head house nigga. And Django was a motherfucking slave that was trying to get free. So if you look at the book Uncle Tom's Cabin, it's the same thing. Uncle Tom is the motherfucker trying to get free and free the slave. Sambo, which is the other nigga, the house nigga on there, he is totally hate black people, against black people, all that shit. But yet we call niggas Uncle Toms that we feel is against black people. Nah, these niggas would be Sambos. Uncle Tom would be a good nigga. Unless you was a slave master. See, now, if you a slave master, then you would look at Uncle Tom as a bad guy, and you would look at Sambo as a good guy. So you got to look at that shit. I think that's some old bullshit, reverse psychology shit that somebody done did back in the day, because now we think Uncle Tom is a bad guy, and Sambo, most niggas don't even know about Sambo. But when I hear Sambo, it's heard to me, it's in a negative context when it's coming from a white dude. It's like calling you a nigger or something. But, I mean, it's like a little pet nickname they try to say. Like, I'm a big ass nigga, so they call me Hoss, Biggin, all this type of shit. And, you know, this is how it go. But that's some real tricky ass shit. They didn't convince us that Uncle Tom is a bad guy. But really, if you read the motherfucking book, Uncle Tom is a good guy. That's crazy. But yeah, niggas like Colin Powell, Condoleezza Rice, when they present these niggas to us, these niggas got, conservative views, which this what fucked me up about black people. We grow up around some of the most conservative people in our fucking lives. And then when it comes to us being conservative and all that shit, we always be like, fuck that. Even though most niggas end up being conservative. Like, most niggas start living that, I call it the church nigga life. See, in the black community, the Republicans is really like the church people. Because they gonna stick to them commandments. Or appear to stick to them commandments. A lot of them black people, you gonna have the aunties, the grandmas, the uncles. We have sedity people in our family. And they still be considering themselves Democrats. And that shit always fuck me up because they be having totally conservative views. But anytime a nigga want to sit there and call himself a conservative or a Republican or anything like that, we'll call him an Uncle Tom or, a coon or any of that type of shit immediately. And I always wondered about that shit because most of the Democrats in the black community that are really into politics, that fuck with politics, they conservative than a motherfucker. We don't really have no black hippie type motherfuckers that's all the way liberal unless they went to college or some type of shit like that. And them ain't the niggas I'm really talking about. I'm talking about like the black people in the hood, in the ghetto, poor areas, not even necessarily poor, like working class, all the way up to like lower middle class to middle class black people. A majority of them that claim to be Democrats, a lot of them be having conservative views like a motherfucker. And this whole liberal shit, black people ain't really liberals. We ain't really in a financial position to be liberal. I mean, we basically, y'all look at the fact that we uneducated. Motherfuckers look at the fact that we are uneducated and then they say we're liberal. We have liberal views. No, we don't. Most motherfucking black people got highly conservative views. We just not fiscally conservative. That's the main thing. Because we're not fiscally conservative because we don't have the education to be fiscally conservative. Like a lot of niggas don't know how to manage money. A lot of niggas just live their life day by day the way we was taught by our parents. And that's what it is. Go to work, do this, and as long as you go to work, they don't really tell us how to save money or how to prepare ourselves for the future, how to educate ourselves even further after high school. We don't learn this type of shit. Once you get a job in the black community, it's like, oh, you make that? Oh, yeah, that's a good job. You better keep that job. That's how niggas do you. It ain't no, well, what are your future plans now? See, they don't ask you questions like that. They just keep it 100 and be like, you need to keep that job and do this and go to church and give your money to God and do all this type of shit. But then you do that shit and then you end up broke to the motherfucker with no direction in life on how to get unbroke. That's all I'm saying. Black people don't really have that education and we need it. I spend every day trying to educate myself on just regular shit like health. Like, nigga, that shit is crazy. Niggas just don't know. Eating right. A nigga been trying to juice and, grind up, make the little smoothies and the kale shakes and all that shit. And shit, that shit going alright. It ain't as bad as I thought it would be. To keep it 100. But yeah, I mean, because I always respected niggas like Colin Powell, because that nigga was a general. I always looked at that like when I grew up, that was one of my biggest role models. But that nigga wasn't really black famous. Like, black people didn't really rock with Colin Powell like that. And that nigga was a fucking general of the motherfucking army in the United States. A black man. And niggas didn't understand that. And we looked at that nigga like, oh, he just worked for Bush. And it's like, nah, my nigga. That nigga was in the army before any of these niggas was running for president and putting in his work and building himself up to be in a position where he can run the whole motherfucker. Yeah, the president is the commander-in-chief, but I mean, this nigga's the 5-star general, my nigga. He calling shots. And I'm talking about across the motherfucking board. This nigga running shit. And niggas didn't give that nigga no respect. We call that nigga a coon, Uncle Tom, that type of shit. And niggas need to pay attention to niggas like Colin Powell. And I just really think niggas like, I mean, you look, we got niggas out now, niggas like Cory Booker. That's another light-skinned nigga out here. And Cory Booker be kind of talking about some good shit. But he like to veer off back to the same talking points that the other Democrats is using without explaining the shit. See, that's the main thing. A lot of y'all black leaders, y'all like to talk these same talking points over and over and over, but y'all niggas don't really elaborate to how this shit gonna work for us, or letting a nigga know that, you know, basically the ins and outs and the small intricacies of these legislation that y'all pass, these bills and all this type of shit. Y'all really don't explain this shit to niggas. So niggas be lost. Cause I be sitting there looking at y'all niggas speeches and reading y'all niggas tweets and all that shit. Then I'll look up the shit y'all talking about. Then I'll be like, nah, like this DACA shit? I don't agree with this shit at all. You want to keep the illegal immigrants here and let them stay? I mean, what is that telling the other illegal immigrants? I mean, you don't think these niggas got TV? All these motherfuckers around the world that's going to come to the country illegally? When y'all make it okay for the niggas that's doing it right now to do it, what is that going to let the other motherfuckers doing? That's like fucking pedophiles. Right now, they giving pedophiles 2 years. Do you think that's making the other pedophiles say, nah, I'm not gonna do that? They giving out 2 years. 2 years ain't shit. And most of these niggas are getting out on ankle monitor or some shit like that. Fast, out on parole. Or get 2 years, be out quick than a motherfucker. And back to molesting kids again. That's bullshit. With these illegal immigrants and shit. By you only giving a small penalty, which they not giving no penalty. They telling you, if you make it over here, my nigga, you good. So you really telling immigrants all over the world to come. That's basically you just making the shit happen even more. That's like this gun rights shit. When they talk about gun rights and all that type of shit, the left and the right start arguing about gun rights, and the first thing the right want to do is start buying more guns because y'all talking about taking the motherfuckers away. That's the same shit with this illegal immigrant shit. Soon as you say, okay, it's cool, y'all immigrants can stay, motherfuckers is going to try to come over here even more. And see, in the upper class, middle class and up, y'all really ain't really tripping off these illegal immigrants like we is in the hood and in the ghettos and in the lower middle class. Because we actually see these motherfuckers. Y'all don't see them. Most of the illegal immigrants in the rich and middle class areas is probably y'all gardeners, y'all nannies, y'all cooks and maids, shit like that. People that y'all are employing So y'all dealing with them, but really out of all of the illegal immigrants, them is like the good ones. The ones that want to come over here and work. The ones that want to come over here and just make an honest living. Them is the good people. I totally don't disagree with them. I even feel like on this DACA shit, you can give people like a 6 month to a year probationary period and see how they do it. Treat the shit like unemployment. If the motherfucker come over here and they got the ability to get a job and start working and become a productive member of society, then hell yeah, keep them. But these motherfuckers that get over here, try to get on welfare, try to get benefits from the government without working or doing anything, then commit crimes. See, these motherfuckers is the ones that need to get out, because these are the motherfuckers that we deal with in the ghetto and in the hood. You got to understand that. All these illegal immigrants that come into the country, the fucked up ones, they live where we live. So we see these motherfuckers. They bringing drugs, guns, crime, all kind of shit into our community. And I'm not saying we don't already have the shit, but what I'm saying is we don't need more of it. We don't need more of the bad shit. We need to get rid of these motherfuckers. Eliminate these motherfuckers out of our areas and out of our ghettos and out of our slums, and they might not be ghettos and slums no more. Y'all ever think about that? I mean, these motherfuckers is bringing anything they want. They got free range. They got free range. I mean, you can listen to every motherfucking rap song that talk about a connect. Who the fuck is a connect? Pablo? Or Amigo? One of these motherfuckers? One of these illegal Mexicans is bringing cocaine and shit into the community. And the biggest coons is the niggas that's fucking selling drugs and doing crime that's benefiting not only the government, it's benefiting illegal Mexicans. It's benefiting illegal immigrants. Where the fuck do y'all think heroin comes from? They say like 93% of the world's heroin comes from Afghanistan. And then people wonder why are we at war with Afghanistan. It's so we can keep people over there. So we can bring that motherfucking heroin this way. What do you think they got off in Oxycontins and opiates and all these drugs that the pharmaceutical companies is pushing? Where do you think them drugs come from? Them drugs is coming from Afghanistan, South America, places like that. I'm just saying, we gotta pay attention to shit. And I speak on that. I speak on the black community because I live in a black community. I live in an all black neighborhood. It's not all black. It's not 100% black, but it's a majority black. If you sit at the stop sign and you sit at the stop sign for 5 minutes and look at the cars that go by, it's going to be mostly black people. Yeah, we got a lot of white people. We got Mexican. We got Asians. We got all kind of shit. But it's a majority black people. And this is what I care about. I care about the gang violence, and I care about the drugs, and I care about all that type of shit. Because it's harmful to our people. It's fucking us up. We fucked. And I'm trying to get us unfucked. I mean, that's just how I feel about the whole situation. Like, you look at black leaders like they want to put, it's a female that a lot of niggas don't know about. Her name is Kamala Harris. And this is the main female they probably finna try to run as president. But you gotta understand, it's a situation in this country right now where we so divided, I don't even think Kamala Harris can beat Trump. If Trump run again, all he got to do is satisfy his base, and it's a situation of he just basically proved to America that he don't need niggas. He don't need Mexicans. He got enough of his own people to vote him in for him to make it. And then we keep arguing about shit like the electoral vote. Like, why is we arguing about the fucking electoral vote? The electoral vote is the laws that are put in place right now. Now, we got all these people complaining about the electoral vote. Why don't we change that shit? Why don't we make the popular vote the actual vote? Instead of talking about this shit, all these Democrats and all these, even these Republicans that's bitching towards Trump, why don't y'all niggas pass some legislation that takes away the electoral vote and enables the popular vote? And let's change the fucking voting system. How about we use the internet? How about we use the same system that people do online banking with? We can use that same exact system to do voting. I mean, if people trust that system to hold their money, all the money that they have in the bank, and do it over your phone and do it over that, why not trust your vote? If you could trust all your money in the same online banking system, why can't we vote with the online banking system? That way everybody can vote from their fucking phone, because everybody got phones now. I don't give a damn if it's an iPhone or an Android or whatever the fuck. Everybody got a phone. We can vote through the phone. There's a way to verify your identity and verify everything over the phone. All you got to do is use the same type of system as the online banking system. But, see, I'm just a nigga in the hood. I can't do this type of shit. It's going to take the actual people that's put in place to be our leaders to start doing shit like that. Like, y'all want to complain about the fucking electoral vote, because I heard niggas complaining about the electoral vote way back when fucking Bush was running. Now niggas are still complaining about the shit with Trump. I'm like, if y'all niggas give so much a fuck about changing the fucking thing, then change the electoral vote, pass legislation so the popular vote can be enabled to be the deciding vote. That's what it is. That needs to be the deciding vote. Because I'm like, why the fuck do they even put the popular vote on TV when that vote don't even fucking matter? If the electoral vote is the system, niggas need to understand the electoral system. That in certain areas you live around the United States, if you don't vote, y'all ass the fuck out. Put it like that. Your vote does count when you do the electoral vote. So if you give a fuck about the president or any of that type of shit, then this is the legislation that needs to be getting passed. And I don't see it getting passed no time soon. So right now they saying Kamala Harris, she's basically a Democrat in California. And this is who they say is going to run against Trump. And, I mean, like I say, it's a black woman this time. She married to a white man. She a Democrat. She got a chance. I say she's a competitor in the race. But at this point, going against Trump, I don't know. I don't think she has what it takes to do it. I wanted to see Michelle Obama run. I wanted to see Michelle Obama run for president because I felt at this time she's smart enough, and just by the way she talks, she can assert herself enough to go against somebody like Trump. But when it comes to Kamala Harris, I don't know if she's that strong, to be 100% honest. I wish Condoleezza Rice would go on and bust over to the Democrat side. So I think she can go against Trump because she's smart enough and she can assert herself enough. We need a female president with some balls. You know what I'm saying? Not literally, but figuratively have some motherfucking a huge set. And I think Michelle Obama can do it. And I think Condoleezza Rice can do it. But I don't really see Kamala Harris being a worthy candidate. But I think this is all the white liberals or whatever. They finna put their money on her. So, you know, when it comes to black people, we just gonna support whoever the fuck. So, it's just like whoever, just give me the nigga. This is like a basketball game. That's how black people pick their president. It's like, okay, you got a white boy over there. He might be good. He look good and all that. But you got this nigga right here. 9 times out of 10, I'm sorry, we're going to go with the nigga. You know, because when you playing basketball, it's just more likely of a chance that nigga going to be able to play. But really, that's the motherfucking problem. Like, we need to stop picking our presidents like this a motherfucking basketball game. Straight up. We need to actually research and pay attention to the motherfuckers that's going on and all that shit. See, because Trump, he didn't need no motherfuckers to do no research. He knew motherfuckers was going to hate him. But people act like hate is a bad thing when everybody know that some people love to be hated. That's what I feel like a lot of people is doing, is mistaking the fact that a lot of motherfuckers want to be hated. And then I just look at, like, do we even need leaders? Because obviously leaders ain't working. They not working for black people. We done had leaders since the beginning of time. And what have that got us? I mean, in my personal opinion, I feel like we do need leaders. I feel like we need strong alpha male personalities and alpha female personalities that are willing to put themselves in a position of leadership to where they can get the people behind them. And I feel like Trump, in a dumbed down way, is a white alpha male on the exterior. He is what we perceive an alpha male to be. Like, me personally, I don't feel he's an alpha male. I feel like he's an alpha male because of the system that he's in. But I feel like the fact that he's so emotional and shit, that's really not alpha qualities. Like, when you let your emotions get past the fact that, past reason. But it ain't really a lot of unreasonable shit he done did. It's just how the people take it. Like, the president is supposed to be a certain kind of way. But basically, we got people like Cory Booker, Kamala Harris nowadays. We got a lot of people in the news and in the media, but I don't really feel they're representing black people. What are they really saying? What did Colin Kaepernick really do to help black people? Except draw attention to himself, just like these NFL players. What are they doing? They're drawing attention to themselves. But then when the press conference come around, they not giving those speeches. They not getting on Instagram or Facebook or social media or none of that shit speaking out on these issues. They're not. I don't see it. Where are they? Where are all the people? LeBron James just had a press conference where he spoke about how he felt about the situation. Now, I don't agree with that nigga on a lot of the shit he said, but at the same time, I do respect that nigga for coming out and speaking. Now, why is it so hard for you niggas that are kneeling every Sunday to speak out and let everybody know what's going on? Because police brutality can't be it, bro. That's like the smallest problem we deal with. Even in the hood, the police come around on warrant days, and the rest of the days, nigga, you can pretty much just lay low and be able to operate and maneuver around the hood without dealing with the police. But if it's a warrant day or something didn't happen and it's hot, you know, shit like that, yeah, you gonna have to deal with the fucking police. But if you from the hood, you also know how to maneuver around them. You know how to deal with them. You know how to talk to them. When you see these black people on TV dealing with the police, you can tell that they haven't dealt with the police that much. Because a lot of niggas would have already took enough ass whoopings acting the way they act to know not to act like that no more. And that's just 100. Now, I'm not giving the police, justifying what the fuck they doing, because I feel like a lot of police need training. And we say, oh, that costs too much and yada, yada, yada. Why does it cost so much to have a senior officer train the rookies for a couple hours every day? Why is that so far-fetched? If these motherfuckers work an 8 or 10 hour shift, why an hour a day can't be dedicated to training? At least for the first 5 or 10 years of you being a police. But see, we don't want to talk about that. We sit here and say bullshit like, oh, that's going to cost too much. And all that. Let me run the motherfucking budget. I can squeeze some dollars out of some shit. I don't even need too many dollars. Straight up. If I pay a senior officer a little bit more money to teach everybody how to act and teach everybody how to properly take people down or properly shoot somebody. Yeah, it is a way to properly shoot somebody. You ain't got to put 7 shots in a nigga because you scared of him and you in fear of your life. I understand the police go through situations all the fucking time. Because niggas go through situations all the time dealing with other niggas. So we know what the fuck the police go through. And we ain't talking about that. We saying that a lot of these motherfucking kids getting killed is out of fucking line. Even like the old nigga that got shot in the back or the fat nigga that got choked out. I mean, at some point we gotta be like, hey man, this shit is getting out of hand. But even then, I don't look at police brutality as a major problem in the black community. Education is the main problem. A lot of niggas in the hood don't even know how to make a resume. And people don't address shit like that. Or go fill out a job application. Or get online and look for jobs. A lot of niggas don't know how to do that shit. So when you address issues like that, you really is fucking up the argument on both sides. I feel is fucking up the argument because one side will talk about, well, there's no jobs because they're black. And then the other side will be like, there's plenty of jobs. They just need to get up and get out and go do it. But nobody is addressing the right, like, well, do they even know how to get jobs? Do they even know how to do a resume? Do they have the proper job training and skills that they should have learned in high school? But they didn't cancel all of the shop classes and metal shop, wood shop, automotive. Motherfuckers don't know how to work on cars no more or change their oil. Niggas don't know how to do that shit. Do we address these issues? No, we don't address this shit. And then motherfuckers on the left are blaming on the white man, but y'all not blaming it on the white man. Y'all don't address that shit neither. Y'all don't address the fact that there are no more classes when you're in high school where you can learn how to do something other than go to college. Everybody ain't going to college. So we need to accommodate for the people that aren't going to college. And then also everybody that go to college aren't learning the type of skills that work in everyday life. Because I'm pretty sure automotive class will help somebody that went to college. When they go to college, they'll know how to work on their car. They'll know how to help their parents work on their house. They'll know how to do everyday things. They'll know skills to be able to get a side job while they're in college. See, I feel America under the what our flag represents and what we are supposed to represent to the people of America, we've fallen very short on education and health. We don't even teach each other how to eat as a country. We got our own little secret. This, I do this. I'm a vegan. I'm a this. Paleo, all this shit. But we don't even teach each other how to eat properly. I mean, and I look at everybody in my family. Niggas don't know about trans fats. Niggas don't know that carbs is bad and sugar is killing us. Yeah, they'll talk about it, but they don't actually stop eating bread or stop eating rice or stop eating complex carbohydrates and mass produce shit. They don't manufacture foods. They don't stop doing all this. We still fucking eating the shit that's killing us every motherfucking day. And we sitting here acting like we ain't. I mean, it's just, it's niggas like Jim Brown and Dick Gregory, niggas that we didn't pay attention to. Now Dick Gregory dead. And I tell everybody, go look up Dick Gregory and listen to what he was saying. Like, I think that nigga crazy than the motherfucker when it come to a couple things. Like, I ain't with all the religion shit, but that nigga do got some real shit to say. I mean, we don't pay attention to niggas like Michael Jordan. Michael Jordan is a nigga that basically dominated in a sport and moved on and gained his own type of wealth. But we wear the nigga shit, but we don't pay attention to the nigga's life and look at how much hard work that nigga did in order to be where he was. We don't follow that model. We don't look to him as a role model. And then the people that do, we look at it just as a sports type of thing. It ain't just about playing a sport, it's about hard work. And then you got people like young niggas like LeBron. He's a good example of what a black man should be. He's a good father. He's a husband. He's handling his business. He's extremely good basketball player, but that isn't the entire content of him. Don't just be like, well, he's just a basketball player. I mean, you look at niggas like that and be like, okay, this nigga, he a good nigga. That's how I look at it. That nigga's a good nigga, man. I respect any nigga that take care of their kids. Even Donald Trump. I respect Donald Trump for that reason right there. Because you might say what you want to say about the man, but he took care of his kids. Straight up. And it's a lot of motherfuckers that's black and white that don't take care of their motherfucking kids. And then we just sit here and pretend like rappers and basketball players and athletes and shit are the most important role models. But it's role model here, my nigga. It's niggas like Neil deGrasse Tyson. This nigga's a scientist. He one of the best scientists in the entire, science field. When it comes to astrology and all of that type of shit, Neil deGrasse Tyson is one of the top scientists in the world. And he a black man. Look that nigga up on YouTube and see. And then we talk bad about Ben Carson. But Ben Carson is one of the coldest niggas when it come to brain surgery. But we don't pay attention to that shit. That we look at that nigga like, oh, he on Trump's side. Well, you got to think, my nigga, maybe he actually want to fix some shit. And then they say, what does he know about HUD? What does he know about housing and all that shit? He know a lot about brain surgery, my nigga. I'm pretty sure HUD and housing and shit ain't that hard to figure out when you know how to work on a nigga's brain, my nigga. We need to pay attention to shit like that. Niggas like Ben Carson. I mean, you can say what you want to say, and people will be like, this nigga's not a good public speaker. This nigga works on brains, my nigga. He's not used to talking to regular people. He probably used to talking to all scientific motherfuckers and niggas that work on surgery and shit like that. Doctors and academics and shit like that. He don't even speak the same language as us. And then we get mad when he can't talk like a common person. That shit is bullshit. I mean, you got niggas like Colin Powell, Thomas Howell. It's a nigga named Thomas Howell. He like a black Republican nigga. And he be spitting some real shit. Now, I disagree with a lot of shit this nigga say. But I love being able to read and listen to lectures by people I do disagree with, because they do have a lot of valid points. But we don't pay attention to niggas like this. Look Thomas Howell up and see what this nigga talking about. You might not agree with all of the shit, but it's just good to put yourself in a position where you can think for yourself. And I feel like a lot of these black leaders that they give us, they give them to us. And when I say they, I don't mean a white man. Not necessarily, even though I feel like they play a part. But it's other black people that play a part in that too. Because these politicians is putting themselves in that position so they can be lived in a certain lifestyle. It's like being a celebrity. And the people will be like, why would you do all that work? But what work do they really do? What work do politicians really do? You gotta travel and make personal appearances and have speeches where you have the same exact talking points all the time. That's not really hard work, my nigga. That's kind of like being a celebrity. It's like being an actor or an actress. You fly around different places and you talking and you speaking a role. So, really, they just like a decently paid actor. Obama was a good actor. Now he reaping the benefits of being a good actor. Now he getting paid fat amounts of money to do speeches. Yeah, that's maybe what he was doing it for. And I can't hate on that nigga for that. Take care of your kids and take care of your family, my nigga. We thought you was on our side, but obviously you ain't. And it ain't no hard feelings, my nigga. Because you ain't a nigga out here committing crimes. You ain't a nigga out here fucking niggas up. You doing your thing and you doing your hustle, Obama, so do that shit. I ain't hating on that nigga. And I'm not looking at that nigga to be a black leader. You gotta understand that. Like a lot of these niggas that claim they black leaders, man, it's just, you gotta look at their actions. Actions speak louder than words. We paying attention to words nowadays, but we need to pay attention to actions. Well, yeah, I'm out.